live here. Y'all have had any encounters with sovereign citizens, and what do you think makes someone kind of prescribe to that kind of thinking?
Well, yeah, I definitely have had several encounters with sovereign citizens, and you have two types. You have the one type that just anti-government, and they can be white, black, and other, and they don't prescribe to the government. They want to be their own free state. And then you have like the Moors, the black Moors. They think they, because of the friendship treaty that U.S. signed with Morocco back in the mid to late 1700s, they believe that it applies to them, but they don't realize that that was only, applying to trade and commerce for the United States, being a newly formed country, to actually go to Morocco and trade in their ports. That's what that was about. It had nothing to do with them. Right. So they falsify documents, they falsify license plates, they try to use verbiage as if I'm traveling and not driving, like that makes a difference in the distinction. That does not. I won't go into a lot of detail about my encounters with them, but what I will say, anytime I come in contact with them, they're probably going to jail, because if they stand on that, they're going to jail. If you're driving in any state in this country, you need to have a state-issued driver's license from one of the states in the country. You have to have insurance. In most states, is mandatory, if not all states. And a lot of them drive. One of them I saw the other day. He had a sovereign license plate that was fake, and it said sovereign citizen. But I did like old boy did in that one bank. It was that bank heist movie with the Baltimore cop or the Boston cop was standing looking. Them guys had them nun joints on with the mask and had the rifles. They looking at him, and he looked at them, and he just turned his head and like, I ain't got no time for it today, because I know where that's about to go. It's 5 minutes before my shift is over. I know he's going to jail. Like, there's no question he's going to jail, because that's how they throw a lot of facts. They throw you a lot of U.S. codes. They don't make sense. They don't have nothing to do with people at all. Some have to do with product and property, and they say they're not on a straw man and all that crazy stuff. And the law, these judges ain't hearing that. They giving boys time for that.
So the majority of them are self-employed, correct?
Yeah, a lot of them, and they conning folks. They stealing houses. They going in people's houses and falsifying deeds and getting power turned on. And they claiming sovereignty over that property, taking the property. They do all kind of stuff, and it hurts people. I mean, it really does. They're thinking that they're doing something to shame the government, but they're hurting people. The chick in Baltimore, or not, in the DMV, who had a lady staying in her house for months, and it almost caused her to lose her mortgage, because she couldn't afford to keep paying her mortgage, because she thought she was going to rent it, make some money. But the chick got in there and stayed for months. They're hurting people, and it's crazy.
Hold on, real quick, before you go, Dre, explain that situation with the chick staying in the house for months. Well, what happened with that? I didn't hear about that one.
Yeah, that was in the DMV, and the lady got her house, bought it, and was Airbnb-ing it out. And she got with us. The one lady got in the house and stayed. She stayed, basically said, "Hey, this is my house now." You know what I'm saying? And it took this lady a long time to get her put out the house, because in Georgia they just changed the law. Squatters have no rights. Back in the day, you had to still evict them in 30 days. You know what I mean? So they still there. Yeah. And then they figure out ways to hold you up in court, because then they start putting lawsuits on you, and that holds up the court. So they're staying in your house for years. You know what I'm saying? At one point, without paying out. The wrong person will listen to this shit, and you're gonna open up the wrong door. Get somebody.
So you're saying in the state of Georgia, they don't have rights, squatters' rights?
Not now, they don't. They just changed it.
They did.
Not now, they don't.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, you go there, you go to jail, baby, right off the rip. And
rightfully
so.
I need to look at for our state, because I rent houses, so I need to look into that, man.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, because they give you a house and turn on the power, and that's their house. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to go through the courts to evict them, and that's 30 days here. And then they throw a frivolous lawsuit on you, then that'll hold that 30 days up. Oh yeah, they got it down to a science.
So Rasheed, you telling me if somebody went into an Airbnb that was in Georgia, they could just stay there and have to get evicted out?
Prior to recently, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that has actually happened. That has actually happened.
Yes, you can Google it. Yeah, you can Google it. Yeah, they stay in your joints for months or years. We would get called all the time where people say, "Hey, somebody's in my house." They present a lease and everything, and it was a fraudulent lease, powers on and everything, and we couldn't do nothing about it because it was civil. We're like, look, that's civil. You got to put them out. So then they go to court, and they call us back. Hey, we got a 30-day writ, but they done sued me for this, and now that court case is on the back burner because they sue you in federal court under UCC codes. Yeah, they had it down to a science.
Wow,
that's crazy.
Wow. Learn something new every day. I did not know that, man.
Ernest, you better check out for South Carolina.
Yeah, that's what exactly. Yeah. Hey, trust me, tomorrow I'm on it. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah.
You best believe that.
There you go. Hey, you gonna make you put that shiesty old kicking folks out the house.
So I thought the person had to get mail sent to the resident in order to be considered a resident.
They get the power stuff cut on. They get the utilities in their name. So at that point, they've established residency.
Oh,
that ain't cool.
Oh, they got this. Google it. They gangster. Them sovereign citizens, they gangster with it. But I'm going to prison because they con each other. They stealing money. They selling fake licenses, fake license plates, fake paperwork saying they are sovereign citizens. Thinking they got diplomatic immunity. I told you on one show that I had a guy that was in the jail that was there for a long period of time because he was standing on that sovereign citizen crap. And is a Chinese dude and ran over 2 people and killed them. And they had a judge come in overnight and get him out because he had a consulate behind him. These sovereign citizens don't have no consulate. You can't say I'm a sovereign citizen or I got diplomatic community with no consulate.
Right.
Okay, so just so the audience don't get confused, are sovereign citizens legit if they get a certain type of paperwork, or are they just an illegitimate organization who just stands on jibber jab on pretty much just punking people out?
The FBI has them as terrorists.
Okay. The FBI have them on the terrorist list.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So what happens if police officers pull over a sovereign citizen? In your expertise, since you have obviously went up the ladder, what do you tell your troops that pull over sovereign citizens, and those police officers that are listening? How should they approach them?
First of all, get you another unit in route. When you realize that that's what you're dealing with, get you somebody in route. Already let them know, hey, I'm dealing with a sovereign citizen, start me some units. Because it's going to go left because they're not going to provide information. They're not going to provide licenses. They're going to turn their phones on. They're going to film you. They're going to throw US code at you that don't have nothing to do with nothing. They're not going to give you an ID because they say they don't, and they're not going to answer no questions. Say, I don't prescribe. I'm under duress. They're going to say all that. Give me your supervisor. Now, in some jurisdictions and some agencies, if a citizen asks for a supervisor, then you must provide that, right? But that doesn't stop the fact that you coming out that car, you're either going to get the citation or you come out the car and you're going to jail because you're going to answer to a judge one way or the other. So most times, 9 times out of 10, that's going left. And most times I've dealt with folks, they've had warrants. They don't want to give you their name. They don't want to talk to you, but they got warrants because they done this before and they refuse to go to court because they don't prescribe to the court. They sometimes talk to sheriffs more than they talk to city police because sheriffs are elected. So they figure they have more jurisdiction than a regular city police officer because they figure that, you're hired, you're not elected, you're appointed, not elected. So they kind of talk to you differently depending on your agency. However, when a police officer, you're dealing with a sovereign citizen and you realize you have that, don't hesitate with them. Don't play with them. Don't listen to all that. What you're doing as a police officer. You know your job. You know why you stopped them. You know what you need from them to comply to your stop and to get you on your way. And if they do anything less than that, don't play with them. Don't give them time to amp up. Don't give them time to think what they're going to do. Handle it quick. Get you some supervisors en route. And something right now it's the delicate time. Back in the day, we're just gonna break the window, snatch you out. Now they want to talk, and that's fine too. We'll negotiate with you to a point to get you out the vehicle. But at the end of the day, you come out the vehicle one way or the other. In the event you don't comply with the initial traffic stop, they always say they're traveling, so it makes a difference. They say, "Well, I'm not driving, I'm traveling. I'm not on the road for commerce." And that doesn't make a difference. They try to throw the legal jargon at you, but it really it's legalese. It don't have nothing to do with nothing. And a lot of police officers don't know, and they get caught up in it, and they like listening and taking paperwork and don't know what they're looking at. Don't take nothing. You know your job. You know what you're supposed to do. You know the law. Do what you're there to do. Don't let them play with you.
So if they're sovereign citizen, how can they obtain driver's license? Well,
like any other citizen, but see, they do it on both hands. One half, I'm a citizen. I want the benefits of being a citizen, so I'll get certain things for certain things. But I don't want to talk to the police. I don't want to deal with court. I don't want to deal with this. So I'm a sovereign citizen on this hand. One hand, I want the benefits of welfare. I want the benefits of whatever all the other side of the citizens. But the other hand, they don't want to prescribe. So they can get licenses, but a lot of them won't. A lot of them, they'll say they denied their strong man. They'll send licenses back. They say they've given up their citizenship for the United States. And that's what they say. and not of them won't have driver's license. They sometimes present you another card, a traveling rights card or something like that to that effect, and it's all illegal. It's all fraudulent.
Yo, I had one time. I had one time. I think he was just learning the sovereign citizen way because this old lady punked him. I did a traffic stop, and he tried that mess with me when I asked for his license. And I don't know if his girlfriend, his wife, she said, "Man, if you don't cut that shit out and get that man your license."
Wait, he had a license. So he's
yeah, he had a license. He had a driver's license.
Yeah.
Because
they just ain't trying to present them.
Yeah.
They just ain't trying to present them.
They claim they don't want anything the government has to offer.
Right. Right.
So a driver's license is a government official document.
Right. Exactly.
Right. But I guarantee you, if the government say, "Hey, here's a $10,000 check, all you need to do is sign it," they sign that motherfucker.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if I go to another country, the moment I set foot on that soil, I'm under that country's laws, whether I'm a citizen or not.
Correct.
So whether I denounce my citizen or not, I'm on U.S. soil. I'm still under U.S. law.
That's
and
right.
I mean, just like the stuff that it prolongs stuff you don't want. If you don't want to deal with the government, you don't want to deal with police officers. Just not having a driver's license, just doing stuff wrong, that prolongs your interaction with them. That's literally the path of most resistance.
And see, that's a smart man talking there. But these folks ain't that damn smart. They smart in some ways and dumb in others.
Hey, Jamie, what you think about this subject, man?
Well, fortunately, I never ran into a sovereign citizen. I mean, we don't have some before when I worked in Richland. We have some like rookies that watched a couple of YouTube videos and thought they were ready, but I never ran into a real one yet.
I think I ran into that rookie when this old lady punked him out.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he started that mess, and I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't got time for that, boy. Get out the car.
That's it. Don't even play with them. I'm telling you, don't play with them. Get them out the car. And they think because you call a supervisor, that stops the stop. It does not stop anything. It prolongs it. But I get them out the car, or if I give me some more units, because again, they're going to be armed. And even in Georgia, 3 sheriff's deputies, I think 2 of them might have died. No, 3 of them got shot. 1 city officer died. The 2 sheriffs survived. It was a sovereign citizen. They went to his house to serve a warrant, and he shot all 3 of them. I mean, they really don't have no respect for the law. They think that they are not, held accountable for what they do. And you can Google that. About 4 or 5 years ago.
Let's put it
out.
I'm
glad you educated the other cops on how to handle the situation, because you can look at law enforcement now. We got a whole lot of young officers, very young officers, interference, not taking that away from them. But a lot of officers are complacent. They expect every traffic stop to be the same until they get that one person to throw them off their game. So I'm glad you actually pointed out to them and let them know actually how to handle that situation.
Yeah. Don't take no paperwork. Don't listen to none of that. You know your job.
Well, let me ask you this, Rasheed. You a lot more educated, because I'm glad I learned some stuff from you tonight too that I didn't know.
Yeah.
I prayed I never have to come across this, but I work more collisions than anything. So what if I work a collision dealing with a sovereign citizen? He's at fault.
You do him the same way you do everybody else. He get a citation, and he gonna tell you, "Well, I wasn't driving; I was traveling." But now you was wrecking. It sounds like, and
where's your insurance card?
He get the same ticket, and then however your law, because do y'all require signatures? Because he ain't gonna sign it. You know what I'm saying? And you already know.
We don't require no signature now.
Well, give it to him. He gonna have a warrant because he ain't gonna come to court. You know what I'm saying?
This was something that was established back in 1600s, 1648 to be exact. I'm surprised if the majority of them, let's be honest, are Republicans. And there's probably a simple reason why the Supreme Court hasn't overturned something like that.
Right.
Because the majority of them are Republicans.
Right.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Gun rights. Isn't that established through government?
It's it gives you a constitution. Well, you have the constitutional right to bear arms. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do they get them legally?
Because again, on one hand, they want with the benefits of it. You know what I'm saying? On the other hand, they like, so long as it benefits them, they're a citizen as long as it benefits them.
Right. Hey, Creg, ain't no different than a sinner picking it. Ain't no different than a sinner picking and choosing what sin they think is good for them and what's bad for them, right? They pick and choose out of the Bible what they can do, right?
Yeah.
Pick and choose. Pick
Yeah.
and choose.
Pick
And
and
in this
choose,
case,
right?
we're not even holding their feet to the fire. We're just saying